Whether you're a lawyer who grew up with 8-track tapes or one who grew up with TikTok, understanding clients and colleagues from a different generation can be critical. Hello, I'm Jeff Brown, the legal writer with the State Bar of Wisconsin. With me today is Alexis Gaurz, a criminal defense attorney with Garuz Crawford in Waukesha. Alexis will be one of several panelists during an afternoon plenary entitled Jumping the Generation Gap on Thursday, October 19, at the State Bar's annual Solo and Small Firm Conference. The conference will be held on October 19 to 21 at Kalahari Resort in Wisconsin Dells. Click on the link in the video summary below to register. Welcome, Alexis. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be speaking with you.
The program for your plenary points out that there are 5 generations, from Generation Z back to the silent generation, that's the one before the baby boomers, currently alive in our country. That means that attorneys can expect to serve clients and potentially work with coworkers and colleagues with a wide range of experiences, expectations, and attitudes toward the legal system and the workplace. Can you talk a little bit about how you've experienced those differences playing out among your clients?
That's a great question. I think the biggest thing that I have noticed is communication and how that has changed depending on the clientele that I'm serving. I will say that a lot of my clients tend to skew younger, and that's partially because of my involvement with TikTok and other forms of social media, that I think that just naturally attracts a younger client base. So one of the things that I really like to focus on is, at the outset of a case, really getting down to what is my client's preferred form of communication. And I find that a lot of younger folks tend to want to, be able to text their attorney or email them. We also utilize a case management software that includes a client portal, so they can log in and see all the documents in their case. And so they're not getting hard copies in the mail of everything that we file. They can just track the progress of their case online. They can pay an invoice online. And so to that end, I think that getting to the bottom of what a client expects or what's most convenient for them in terms of communication has been one of the things where I've noticed a major difference between different generations. For example, I do still have clients that want a hard copy of everything, and I'm perfectly happy to provide that. But I definitely tend to see more folks being inclined to want to do things electronically, or a little bit more paperless in that regard.
And I apologize, my video is going, so we'll just continue with people hearing my voice and people looking at you and hearing your voice. Can you talk about how the same differences play out with colleagues and coworkers?
Absolutely. When I started practicing law, e-filing was still kind of new. And so there were changes already happening with respect to how is the legal profession going to mesh with technology going forward, and how would that look? And so I still maintain a lot of old school habits that I learned from the attorneys that taught me how to do this job. And I think they're really good things. I still love my notebook, and until very recently, kept a paper calendar because I knew that the paper calendar was absolutely correct. So there are things that I think have been useful. And I think the bottom line is, you can innovate and you can try new things, but don't necessarily get rid of all the old school stuff. I think you can take and kind of create what's the best tool set for you by taking some of those things that are tried and true methods, as well as integrating things that might be a little bit more 2023, so to speak. So I think that embracing those aspects and strengths and weaknesses from all generations is really integral to having a cohesive working unit. I will say that both my partner and I think we're considered elder millennials. And so a lot of what we do tends to be, more tech forward. But I will say that, there's definitely some tried and true stuff that still resonates well with us today.
Well, I like what you are saying there about mixing methods and forms of technology from the different eras, if you will. I still keep a paper calendar, less because of my vintage, and more because when I was keeping my schedule just on my phone, there's so many things on our phones because they do so much more than, of course, just being phones. And I was constantly getting beeps and blurps and alerts for all sorts of things that were on my calendar, some important, some less important. And I just started to tune them out, and I started missing appointments because there were just so many notices that so I keep actually both now. And as a bit of a Luddite, I raised it as a cautionary tale. I was supposed to be able to keep one calendar, but now I actually have to keep two, despite the advance in technology. So anyway, last question: Would you please give us a preview of the plenary? What do you expect to be talking about at the Solo Small Firm?
So I feel really excited to be part of this panel presenting, because I think we're going to have a lot of really good perspectives from lawyers across really all areas of practice and different generations. So for me, I think I will be focusing my part of the presentation on talking about, how we've really integrated a lot of technology and a lot of, more, I think, more things to draw in a younger client base. I really made it intentional to want to demystify some of the, I think, stereotypes about lawyers and what lawyers can be like, by intentionally engaging in platforms that are not historically thought of as lawyer platforms. And so those will be some things that I'll be highlighting, as well as, just kind of dealing with co-counsel from different generation and embracing and working with different styles, because I think, like I said, there's value in all of it. I think we just have to figure out what works best for us so that we can best serve our clients.
Great. Well, Alexis, thank you again for your time. I look forward to seeing you in October. Perhaps you can convert me and some other 8-track generation lawyers to getting on TikTok. I will have a dance move ready in case that you.
I'll do my best.
Okay. Thank you again, Alexis. See you in October.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.